Hi, Aries. This is Carrie at wooingnature.life. Welcome to April and to the channel. We are going to focus this time on you. It is Aries season, so you will be setting the pace for us and for everybody else that is coming behind you in the zodiac as you always do. So thank you for being present and accounted for. Thank you for checking out the line, and thank you for following us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, as well as keeping up with what's going on the webpage at wooingnature.life. So I'm going to start your reading with a little bit of an astro pulse, and you can find astro pulse on Twitter if you are interested in finding out what's going on astrologically in the world. But I am going to start your reading today with the astro pulse for Aries. So this is just a quick look at which planets are falling in the sign of Aries during this month. Of course, the sun is there. It's been there since last month, the latter part of last month, we entered into Aries season. So this is your time. It's your phase. Many of you, of course, are celebrating birthdays, so you're feeling festive, you're feeling active, you're feeling hopefully positive and good about yourself, because that's really important right now as we're moving into the springtime. You all herald the spring. You all let us know that it's time to start fresh. It's time to start new. And so we want to make sure that you're doing the same thing, Aries, while the sun is in your sign. Also, we have Mercury. Mercury will be transiting your sign between the 5th and the 19th of April. So starting on the 5th, going to the 19th. Lucky for you, there are no retrogrades there. So just pay attention to your communication, what kinds of communication is coming towards you, and what you are talking about, what you're thinking about, the ideas that are coming into your head at this time or during the 5th to the 19th. So just kind of pay attention to that, because Mercury rules the mind, and it also rules communication and thoughts. So your thought processes and what you're thinking about, what's predominating your mind, and what you're really focused on is what Mercury is going to bring about. And then, of course, like I said, you also want to pay attention to what communications are coming in for you as well, and then how you're responding to that. What are your thoughts about what's coming in, and how you are articulating your feelings or your thoughts around it. Okay. Also, we have Venus. Venus is in your sign, has been in your sign since the latter part of March, and will continue to stay in your sign until the 14th. So lessons learned in love between March 22nd and the 14th of April is where you'll want to focus your attention or be thinking about. So it's the lessons that you've been learning, how you have been expressing yourself in terms of how you're feeling. This could also include your creative expression as well. And how you are also communicating with partners, since you have Venus and Mercury traveling through your sign. I'm going to say between the 5th and the 14th, particularly. You might want to talk or think about how you're communicating with your partner and what kinds of conversations have come up. Chiron is also in Aries. It's going to be there for quite a while. So just relax and deal with your karmic imprints, your karmic lessons, anything that you're experiencing that relates back to an old pain or an old wound, or even how you have overcome it or how you've been able to heal it, would all be fair game. And again, Chiron is going to be in your sign for a while. I think I looked all the way up to 2025. It's still there in 2025. My guess, and I didn't look into 2026 and 2027, but my guess is sometime between 2026 and 2027 is when it's going to go out of that sign. So if any of you are experiencing any unusual experiences, dreams, if any of you have thought about doing any kind of past life regression, I would recommend it during this time because it may put you in touch with some ways that you might be interacting and behaving based on either a karmic pattern or an old wound. So I want you to think about that. Your moon times are the 11th and the 12th of April. So 11th and 12th of April is when the moon will be traveling through the sign of Aries. So just kind of pay attention to how you're feeling and how you're reacting, or you may want to do a special ritual for yourself or a special something special around your moon time on the 11th and 12th. All right, so that's your astro pulse. I am going to pull out the cards in just a second. I'm going to take a pause to go and grab them, but I do want to look today at your right and left, your left and right side of yourself, to look at how you're balancing and what you need to balance. Of course, I'm always going to do your tarot reading. We'll do a free range reading for that. Because we've talked about love for the past month, 2 months actually. We've been focusing on love. So I'm just going to do a free range reading this time for your tarot. And then I also want to take a look at who's around you. Again, we'll take the animal cards and look at who's around you, who's circulating in your world, and then we'll also take a look at your money. Okay, so I'm going to take a pause and I'll be right back. All right, Aries, I am going to be reading from the Sacred Earth Oracle for your right and your left. I like to look at both sides of yourself, both hemispheres of the brain. You can think of it that way. You can think of it also as masculine and feminine, dark and light, whichever way you want to think of it. But for me, it's just looking at both sides of yourself and seeing how you are balancing or what you need to balance yourself in the month of April. So spirit guides, ancestors, all of those who are around me, who guide me, I ask that you guide my hands and guide my heart. Move me out of the way so that you can speak directly to Aries. We're looking at what's needed to balance Aries in April. What's needed to balance Aries in April. All right, so the two cards that I have for you, and this is left. On the left side, we have dependability. So we're looking at how dependable you are, or who is depending on you at this time. So I want you to just take a moment to meditate on this image, and also meditate on the receptive side of yourself, or the side of yourself that either feels like they are dependent, or the side of you who understands what it is to be dependent, and also the side of you that understands what it means to depend on others. Now, when we're talking about dependability, we're talking about what we can count on Aries for, what other people count on you for, and what you count on other people for. We're not talking about dependency, okay? We're talking about dependability, not dependency. So it's easy to fall into that slippery slope where being dependable goes into codependency. You just have to remember to pull your ego, Aries, out of the scenario, because sometimes our ego's attached to being helpers, like we want to help because it makes us feel good about ourselves, and helping people does make you feel good about yourself. But if we are helping to the point where we're trying to control a situation, or we're not allowing somebody else to process in their own way, in their own timing, at their own pace, then you have to understand a little better about where you sit in that picture, because the picture includes you and someone else, and that someone else is in control of their own lives. They're in control of their own pace. Their pace is not your pace, and sometimes Aries, you guys are gung-ho and ready to run. Other people may not quite be at that level. I am seeing some chakra work for you and another person. So if this affects you in a very special relationship, for some of you, this is where this is showing up for you. I recommend that both of you do some chakra work around that, particularly on the first chakra. First chakra is about how comfortable you feel in the world. Your first chakra rules. It really goes all the way back to your origins and your beginnings, and whether or not you had the nurturing or the food, shelter, clothing that you needed as a child, or that you felt like you needed as a child. This is where dependency comes in. It comes in at the very beginning. As you're a child, you're completely dependent on your parents or someone else. And so all of that ties into how dependable you are. So on the left side, we've got dependability. On the right side, we have surface. Now, for me, surface is, it can draw up all kinds of feelings, and whatever surface, however that word sound resonates with you, then take it and run with it, and let the spirit lead you by all means. But for me as an intuitive, the surface is about reflection. It's about going to the surface of a pond, or the surface of some waterway. It could be a lake. It could be a pool of water. It could be a fountain. It could be a mirror, just a way for you to reflect on yourself, or to reflect at a deeper level. And so the surface, things that are on the surface, or things that may be bothering you, or that may on the surface needle at you, this is the time to look at that situation and do some self-reflection and reflect on the thing itself, and go a little deeper, because of course the surface implies that there is water, and there's something deeper there. Whatever may, and I'm feeling for you, Aries, this is something that may be bothering you, or like it's a little, like a little petty thing that irks you. But these petty little things that irk you really have, there's something a little deeper there that you'll want to look at and pay attention to. So in terms of balance, for you, Aries, between being dependable and seeing the things that may be bothering you, that there's something deeper there, I feel like this has to do with how you are relating to other people around you, and particularly those people who are dependent on you, and who you are dependent upon. You need to look a little deeper at the relationship. You want to look a little deeper at the parts of that bother you, or that are creating another it's little things that are bothering you about it. But you need to go ahead and address those issues to bring balance to yourself, and also bring balance to your relationship. And when you are communicating and articulating these things, it's going to help you see where there's holes in your theory, and it's also going to show you how ego may be playing into what's happening, or how what's bothering you, or what's irking you there. So this is to me, again, not to go back necessarily to relationships, but it is about relating, but particularly to people that you're dependent on, or that are dependent on you. Okay. All right. So moving right along from that, we are going to focus on the people that are around you. Okay, just makes sense since we are talking about that. And in particular, I want to talk, or I want to ask the spirits about this dependent thing. This either codependency or dependency, wherever this dependency stems from. wherever it comes from. We want to look at that relationship in particular. Thank you, spirits. We're looking at that relationship in particular. Who's in the picture here? Who's in the picture here? Who's in the picture? Okay. All right. So we got quite a few people in the picture here. All right. So the first one that came up was brown bear. And the first thing I thought about is healing, because I associate brown bear with healing. And when you are healing, if you're a healing helper, a healing worker, you do any kind of healing work, either as you're a nurse, you're a doctor, you're a Reiki practitioner, you're somebody who just provides healing in your community. This would create that dependency. This is going to create, quite naturally, people depend on you for your healing energy, for your ability to make them feel better about themselves. These are people that may come to you for advice. These are also people who may come to you for actual healing work. And so what I'm going to say, Aries, is that I feel like this is you in this situation. You have to create a balance. And the balance, again, we talked about going to the surface, going to looking at the things that are happening on the surface, and then doing some self-reflecting meditations and exercises to help you go deeper into yourself and into your role as a healer, is what I'm getting here from this card. It's about you understanding your role as a healer. So now around you, we have cat spirits, otter spirits, and deer spirits. And I'm going to do these separately. The cat spirit is an independent soul. They are very watchful. They are aware of energies, right? So they can spot an energy a mile away. I remember reading about the Egyptians having cats as their guard animals, and I was like, well, what is a cat gonna do? But a cat can see things miles away. They can see the energies around people, and so they're very good people to have around. And this cat's got angel wings on its back, so I feel like among you are some cat people who could also be helpers, who may be able to help you spot certain kinds of energies that may be coming around you, those that could be codependent energies. So I feel like the cat spirit is somebody who's helping you in some way. So I want you to lean on them to help you see past certain kinds of people that may be coming around, who where that codependent thing gets created, because we don't want to create codependency if we can help it, especially in the healing community, because the idea is not for people to keep coming back to you over and over and over again. The idea is to heal them so that they can move on with their lives, right? So it's not about attachment or anything like that. Then we have some otter spirits, lovely, lovely people. They love, and they love to be loved. And that's great. That's great. I think that these people may be coming to you for that. If you are a healing person, then Aries, then you'll want to direct them on self-love, guiding them toward learning techniques to love themselves. So if they're coming to you for that love and you feel like it's starting to be a little bit more dependent than it needs to be, then you'll want to guide and show them toward the exercises and things that can lead them toward loving on themselves, self-care, pampering yourself, doing the things that you love to do that bring you lots of energy, and then they're not as dependent on you to give them that. And then we have the deer spirited people, very gentle souls, very aware, very astute, also keen hearing, keen sight. There's a reason why hunters feel like a deer is a catch, because really they are hard to nab, because they're fully aware of what's going on around them. So again, we have some other people with awareness among you, deer people and cat people. have a lot of awareness. So I feel like when you are bogged down, when you are in your healing work and you feel like, oh my God, I can't talk to another person, or my energy is low, or I know that I'm supposed to be healing, but I don't have enough to give to someone else, then that's where you are going to depend on some of these other people around you to help you, and to help shoulder some of the weight or the burden that you may be carrying as a healing person. So again, this is healthy balance of dependability, and what dependability is all about. When you need the help is there, but there's also room and balance in your life for growth, for you to grow in your own strength, in your own faith, in your own practice. As a healer, you're growing in that practice. And then the other people who are in need of, or who are in need, you can teach them how to gain that energy and get that energy on their own too. Okay, so that is a clear message to me about dependence and dependability, okay, and how those people are depending on you. So I'm seeing a lot of healing helpers among my Aries community. We just want to stop and thank you for the work that you do. But it is important that you get the balance, because when you're working with a lot of people and they're bringing all of this to you, sometimes people want some place to dump. And then sometimes people want you to do the work for them. And it's not about you doing the work for them, Aries. It's about you teaching them how to do the work for themselves. And then that way they can, there's true healing that happens, not dependency. Okay. All right. So I'm going to take a pause, and I am going to pull out the money cards, and then I will also get to the free range part of this reading. All right, hold tight. All right, Aries, we're going to take a look at your money as promised. I'm going to do a quick money reading for you, coming from the Money Tarot here. So we want to take a look at your money situation, your financial situation for Aries. What does Aries need to think about in terms of finances? Guidance on how to deal with finances. We'll just pull 3 cards, please. All right. All right. So it looks like there's some balancing of the accounts that needs to happen. Make sure that you are balancing your account, meaning you are looking at what you've paid out, what's coming in, and you're making sure that it adds up. What I'm getting here is that there's a lot of things happening electronically with your accounts. There's a lot of things that you may have auto pay or auto bill pay or anything like that. There may be amounts that are coming in that you don't know, because sometimes we get apps and we don't cancel them, and so sometimes those monies are coming out. So I'm looking at that for you. Make sure you're double checking what's happening in your account and with your account, whether you're investing or whether it's your savings or checking, it doesn't matter. It's your money. So you want to make sure that things are to the letter, and that means looking at those accounts every time. With the Knight of Cups here, I'm seeing possibly some frivolous spending, or maybe you need to think before you actually make that purchase, okay? With the Knight of Cups here, that's about fast movement. It is also the card that represents when we are still developing and still learning certain skills. And with the in the Suit of Cups, this deals with feelings. Now, your money and your feelings have to sometimes take a separation. They need to part and separate, okay? Because what you feel is emotional. And so if you're doing emotional spending, then you want to check your emotions and see what's going on there, because you'll end up running up a bill or running up a bunch of bills, and that won't make you happy in the end. And so then this third card that I see you contemplating, you may be contemplating, I feel like for some of you, you are contemplating maybe doing some different sort of investments. It could be real estate. It could be investing in the stock market. The one thing that I will say to you before you start investing is to remove your debt, okay? So it doesn't make very much sense for you to invest money if you're still owing money. Try to get your debt down as much as possible, to the point where if you have credit card debt, you want to be able to pay that debt off in either a month or two. That's where your debt should be, okay? So if you can't pay your debt off in a month or two, then you're probably overextended in debt, and so you want to get that down before you start thinking about investing. So here we're getting, again, check your checks and balances. Make sure that everything is coming out the way that it's supposed to. Make sure that you're spending what you want to spend, and that you're not being nickel and dimed out of some of your money. Watch your spending. Make sure it's not emotional spending. And if it is emotional spending, deal with the emotion. Okay? Go to your therapist, talk to your therapist, ask why it is that you're spending money is, what is it replacing? What hole or void is it trying to fill? And then again, as you're contemplating your next investment, make sure that your debt to income ratio is on point. All right. So coming down the pipe, this is a free range reading for Aries. Free range reading for Aries for the month of April. Free range reading. This is just whatever comes up, whatever Spirit needs to speak, anything that Spirit needs to say to Aries. So we've got a page here. This is a message. It is in the suit of Earth, so that means that this is a message about your well-being. It's about your surroundings. It's about could be money, could be your physical self. So that's where this message is coming from. Could be health and wellness. Could also be money. All right, so we have the Queen of Swords here, and the Queen of Swords is about her business. So I think that this is about, this has to do with your money. Queen of Swords is known as being a businesswoman, entrepreneur. For some of you who are entrepreneurs, you'll want to pay attention and have your eyes and your ears and your mind focus on what's coming through right now. There's been a lot of changes in terms of business in the past year, okay? And so what you have to do is you have to sharpen your awareness. You have to be on the listen out. You have to keep your ears to the ground. There are those people around you who you depend on for this. Make sure that you touch bases with them and use that as a part of your strategies and your strategizing for your work. We've got the King of Wands here showing up in reverse, which to me is about being assertive and taking charge and really knowing what it is that you're about and doing it. With this flame here, I can't help, you all are fire signs. So in the upright position, this is you moving forward with your ambition and with your ideas and being gung-ho. But with it in reverse, it tells me that you may not be being as assertive and as aggressive as you need to be where it concerns your business. Okay. Right now, it seems like you're probably jumping through the fire or jumping through the flames. A lot of us in business are feeling this way. I definitely feel like this is business. But the message here, the other message, so at the top of the message is about this business that you're in, or about something that you are embarking on that will become a career or a business later. And so the message is that this is a good time for you to be studying. This is a time for you to be learning about what's happening in relationship to what you're investing in, how you're investing, the business that you're involved in, or the career that you are involved in. There is some forward movement for you there, Aries, meaning that whatever it is that you are involved in, there's an opportunity for growth here. Especially with these two fire cards showing up. It means that there is energy around it. There is inspiration, or there's excitement, or there's something to that nature. But there is work to be done, especially because, like I said, you may be feeling like you're jumping through the hoops. And you have to keep moving forward regardless of that. And that's where the lessons are coming in, and where you're going to be learning about the nuances and the things that aren't in the books. I think that's interesting because there's like a pile of books here. But what I'm getting is that you're going to be learning things that are not in the books. That's a different level of education there. Okay, we've got the Five of Swords in reverse here. So in relationship to that, if it doesn't inspire you, if it doesn't move you, if it doesn't excite you, if it doesn't speak to your heart, then you need to release that and let that go and be open to what's coming next for you. Be open to that, but don't tie yourself to anything that's dead, not growing, not going, stagnant, anything like that. Do not attach yourself to that, Aries. Oh, we got lots of them here. All right, so in all of these, what I see is you learning how to release and let go here so that the world can open up for you. That still needs to happen. There's still opportunities for growth and lucrative growth here too. So I think that for those of you who are in business for yourself or who are embarking on a new career path, it looks like it's going to be fruitful. It's very much going to be fruitful. But for some of you, you have to still release and let go so that these opportunities can truly open up for you. So open your heart, open your mind. Don't forget about those people that are around you, the deer people, and who was it? The deer people and somebody else who's keen, the cat people. Employ them, not pay them, but employ them, meaning activate their energy in your life more, bring them more into the picture, because I feel like they may be able to share with you some insight on what you are moving toward in the future. All right, Aries, that is your reading for April. If you would like to reach out to me, you can do so by connecting at Kerri, Kerri, at wooingnature.life. As always, I hope you have a great day. I hope you have a wonderful April, and I hope you're having a fabulous life.